Ola had always been a dreamer. Raised in the bustling city of Lagos, she had big plans for her future, love, success, and a life full of passion. When she met Tobi at a mutual friend's party, it felt like her dreams were coming true. He was everything she had imagined in a man, tall, confident, and charming, with a mischievous twinkle in his eyes. His long dreadlocks framed his handsome face, and his deep voice carried an effortless authority. Tobi was the kind of man who could walk into any room and steal every woman's attention. And Ola, being the hopeless romantic that she was, fell for him hard. But love can be a cruel joke sometimes. In the beginning, Tobi was everything she wanted. He called her my queen, showered her with compliments, and took her on late-night drives around Victoria Island, whispering sweet nothings as Afrobeat music hummed softly in the background. Yet slowly the cracks began to show. He would disappear for days without explanation, then return with flimsy excuses. He flirted openly with other women, laughing off Ola's concerns. "You worry too much," he'd say, flashing that signature grin. "You know you're the only one that matters." And she wanted to believe him. She needed to. But Michael saw everything. Michael was Tobi's best friend, but the two men were nothing alike. Where Tobi was loud and reckless, Michael was calm and thoughtful. He had a quiet strength about him, never imposing yet always present. He had an average build, a low haircut, and warm brown eyes that carried kindness in their depths. Whenever Tobi broke Ola's heart, it was Michael who picked up the pieces. He never spoke ill of his friend, never told Ola what to do. He just listened, and when she cried, he let her. "You deserve better, Ola," he would say gently, his fingers grazing her shoulder in comfort. "You're worth more than this." But love had a way of making fools out of people, and Ola was determined to prove that she hadn't made a mistake choosing Tobi. Until the night that changed everything. It was supposed to be a special night. Ola had planned a private dinner for Tobi at her apartment, a candlelit affair with jollof rice, grilled turkey, and wine. She wanted to remind him of how much she loved him, but Tobi never showed up. At first, she convinced herself that something urgent must have come up. Maybe work. Maybe his phone was dead. Then she saw the Instagram stories. Her Tobi, was at a club in Lekki, draped over another woman, his dreadlocks bouncing as he laughed, a bottle of Hennessy in one hand and his other hand wrapped around her waist. Ola stared at her phone, her heart breaking in slow motion. This wasn't the first time he had heard her, but something about this moment, the public humiliation, the sheer disregard for her feelings, was the final straw. She was done, and she knew exactly who to call. Michael arrived within 15 minutes. It had started to rain by then, the droplets tapping rhythmically against the windows. He didn't say anything when she opened the door, just pulled her into a hug as she collapsed against his chest. "I'm so stupid," she whispered, her voice cracking. "No," he said firmly, "you're not." They stood there for a long time, the warmth of his embrace anchoring her as she let go of all the pain she had held on to for so long. And then, for the first time, she really looked at him. Michael had always been there, steady, patient, kind. He had never tried to win her over, never tried to be more than what she needed. But now, as she gazed into his eyes, she saw something she hadn't allowed herself to see before. Love, real, unwavering love. The next morning, Tobi called. "Ola, babe, I was drunk last night," he said casually, as if that excused everything. "You know how these things go." She laughed, actually laughed. For the first time, she saw him for who he really was, a man who would never change. "You don't deserve me, Tobi," she said, surprising even herself. "And I'm done pretending you do." Before he could respond, she hung up. Michael was waiting for her at her doorstep, a small smile playing on his lips. "That sounded like closure," he remarked. She nodded, and then without thinking she reached for his hand. "Michael," she murmured, "can we try?" His fingers intertwined with hers. "I've been waiting for you to see me," he admitted. And as they stood there, under the soft glow of the morning sun, Ola finally understood. Sometimes, love isn't about grand gestures or stolen moments. Sometimes love is about the one who stays.